Welcome to the Novel Garden. In today's audio, we will explore chapter 11 to 20 of Oliver Twist, along with its important themes and deeper analysis in easy English. At the police station, Oliver is locked inside a dark and miserable cell. Meanwhile, the gentleman whose handkerchief was stolen keeps wondering why Oliver's face seems so familiar. Soon, Oliver is brought before the strict and harsh magistrate, Mr. Fang. The gentleman introduces himself as Mr. Brownlow. He honestly admits that he is not sure Oliver is the thief and shows concern because the boy looks so seriously ill. Oliver is too weak to speak. He cannot defend himself and suddenly collapses in the courtroom. Despite this, Mr. Fang quickly declared a cruel punishment 3 months of hard labor. But just as Oliver is being taken away, a bookstall keeper rushes in. He reveals the truth. The real thieves were the other boys, and Oliver was shocked and confused during the incident. Hearing this, Mr. Fang cancels his judgment and orders Oliver's release. Outside the station, Mr. Brownlow finds Oliver lying helpless in the street, shaking with fever. Deeply moved by his condition, he immediately arranges for a coach and takes Oliver home to care for him. Oliver wakes up in a comfortable bed in a clean and peaceful room for the first time. He experiences kindness and care. He is being looked after by Mrs. Badwin, the gentle housekeeper of Mr. Brownlow. After 3 days, Oliver gains some strength and comes downstairs. There, he notices a beautiful portrait of a young woman. Her soft and kind expression deeply affects him. Oliver feels a strange connection to the painting. He says it seems as if the eyes are alive and trying to speak to him. Mr. Brownlow carefully observes Oliver and then look at the portrait. He is surprised to notice that Oliver closely resembles the young woman in the picture. Meanwhile, back to Fagin's place, Jack Dawkins and Charlie Bates return after the theft. Charlie laughs loudly at the whole situation, especially how they chased Oliver shouting, "Stop thief!" But Jake is more worried. He wonders what Fagin will say about what happened. Back at Fagin's hideout, Jack Dawkins rushes in with troubling news. Oliver has been caught by the police. Soon, the dangerous Bill Sikes arrives with his fierce dog, matches his own violent nature. Fagin and Sikes immediately grow anxious. Their biggest fear is that Oliver might reveal something that could lead the police straight to them. They all agree on one thing: Oliver must be brought back, but no one is willing to take the risk. Sikes then forces Nancy to go and find him. After some time, Nancy returns with information. She has discovered that a kind gentleman has taken Oliver home. Without delay, Fagin ordered Nancy and Jack to track down Oliver and bring him back, no matter what. As Oliver recovers, he finally begins to experience a life filled with kindness and care. Mr. Brownlow invites him into his study to talk about his future. During their conversation, Oliver learns that Mr. Brownlow has lost the people he loved most, which makes him feel a deep connection to the lonely old man. Just as Oliver is about to share his life story, our visitors arrive. Mr. Grimwing, a sharp and suspicious friend of Mr. Brownlow. While Oliver steps out of the room, Mr. Grimwing expresses doubt about him. He even suggests that Oliver might steal from the house, showing how little he trusts the boy. Later, Mr. Brownlow plans to continue the conversation the next day, but Oliver feels uncomfortable under Mr. Grimwig's judging gaze, and his hesitation is misunderstood as dishonesty. Soon, a delivery of books arrives. Mr. Brownlow realizes that some books must be returned and payment need to be made. Trusting Oliver, he sends him to the bookseller with money and the books. But Mr. Grimwig is certain Oliver will run away. He boldly declares that the boy will return to his old life of crime and never come back. As evening falls, both men sit and wait, one filled with hope, the other with doubt. Fagin meets Bill Sikes at a pub to give him money for his recent robbery. While they are there, Nancy arrives and tells them that Oliver has been ill and lying in bed. She seems ready to say more, but one sharp look from Fagin stops her. Soon after, Nancy and Bill go out to search for Oliver. They find him while he is on his way to the bookseller, thinking about his old friend Dick from the workhouse. Nancy suddenly runs toward him and hugs him tightly, pretending that Oliver is her lost brother who ran away and broke their parents' heart. At that moment, Bill Sikes appears. He grabs Oliver roughly and takes the books from his hand, accusing him of stealing them. Some people nearby believe the story and support Bill, taking advantage of the situation. Bill hits Oliver and orders his dog, Bullseye, to guard him. As night falls, Mr. Brownlow and his household keep waiting, but Oliver does not return. Bill Sikes and Nancy takes Oliver back to Fagin's house. Oliver pleads with Fagin to return the books and money so that Mr. Brownlow and Mr. Badwin do not think he is a thief. However, Fagin and Sikes only laugh and feel satisfied that Oliver has now been pulled back into their world. Suddenly, Oliver tries to escape, but Fagin quickly catches him and prepares to beat him. At this moment, Nancy steps in. She snatches the stick from Fagin and throws it into the fire. She argued that Oliver has already been forced into the life of crime, so there is no need to beat him further. Nancy then speaks emotionally about her own life, blaming Fagin for making her what she is, living a hard and painful life on the streets. Overcome with emotion, Nancy faints. In the end, Oliver is stripped of his good clothes and locked in the kitchen for the night. Mr. Bumble visits Mrs. Munn. Mr. Bumble visits Mrs. Munn, where a sick boy named Dick asks him to give a final message to poor Oliver Twist. Instead of showing kindness, Dick is punished and locked away. Later, Mr. Bumble travels to London for parish work. There, he sees a newspaper notice. Mr. Brownlow is offering a reward for any information about Oliver. Mr. Bumble goes to Mr. Brownlow's house and speaks badly about Oliver. He falsely claims that Oliver came from bad parents and has always been dishonest and ungrateful. Hearing this, Mr. Brownlow begins to doubt Oliver and even calls him an impostor. However, Mrs. Badwin refuses to believe these accusations and remains confident that Oliver is innocent. After spending a week locked in the kitchen, Oliver is finally left alone to move around the house. The place is dark and neglected, with shutters nailed shut. It feels old and lifeless, though Oliver imagines that it was once a happy home. One day, Jack Dawkins and Charlie Betts return. While Oliver cleans Jack's boots, they try to persuade him that stealing is an easy and profitable way to live. Later, Fagin arrives with Tom, Chetling, and Bet. The groups spend the evening talking about crime as if it is something clever and rewarding. From then on, Oliver's days are spent with Fagin, Jack, and Charlie. They play their usual pickpocketing game, and Fagin entertains them with stories from his past. His stories are so amusing that even Oliver cannot help but laugh at times. Fagin goes to meet Bill Sikes to plan a burglary at a place called Chartesy. Bill explained that they cannot bribe the servants, so he will have to break in himself, but he demands a large share. He says he only needs a simple tool and a small boy to help him. Nancy suggests Oliver for the role, and Fagin quickly agrees. He says it is time for Oliver to start earning his bread. Bill is unsure whether Oliver can be trusted, but Fagin is confident. He believes that once Oliver takes part in the crime, he will feel trapped and become one of them. They fix the plan for 2 nights later. Bill drinks heavily until he falls asleep. While Fagin leaves feeling satisfied, thinking Nancy has stopped worrying about Oliver. Fagin informs Oliver that he must go with Bill Sikes. He wants him to obey everything, reminding him that Bill is a dangerous man. While waiting, Oliver is given a book to read. It tells true stories of crime in a frightening way. The stories disturb Oliver so deeply that he soon puts the book aside and begins to pray, hoping to be saved from such a life. After some time, Nancy arrives and takes Oliver to Bill. Bill immediately shows his cruelty. He points a pistol at Oliver and threatens to shoot him if he disobeys. After a short rest and quick meal, Bill and Oliver set out early in the morning to carry out their plan. In Oliver's twist, reader often notices that characters' face seems to reflect their personality. For example, Oliver's face is described as innocent, gentle, and open. Because of this, people react to him in different ways. Fagin thinks such an innocent face could actually be useful for stealing, while Mr. Brownlow feels that a boy with such a face must be good and honest. On the other hand, Fagin's appearance is shown as unpleasant and almost frightening, which matches his criminal nature. Similarly, Mr. Feng the magistrate is described as harsh and easily angered. His face appears red and tense, suggesting a short temper and possibly unhealthy habits. Interestingly, Charles Dickens based Mr. Feng on a real magistrate named Lang, who was known for his rude and aggressive behavior. The idea that a person's face reveals their character was actually very popular in the 19th century. This belief was known as physiognomy. People believed that features like eyes, nose, and mouth could show whether someone was kind, intelligent, or even dangerous. This idea goes back to ancient Greek thinker and was later developed by John Caspar Lavater, who studied different parts of the face and their meanings. Some common words we still use today, like high brow and low brow, actually come from this belief system. A similar idea was phrenology, introduced by Franz Joseph Gall. It suggested that the shape of a person's skull could reveal their intelligence and personality. During Dickens' time, both of these ideas were widely accepted, which is why they appear in the novel. Oliver's trial takes place in a police court, which worked very differently from today's system. After the Metropolitan Police Act 1829, the police were given the power to bring cases directly to court. In these courts, there was usually no jury. The accused had to defend themselves. The victim acted as a prosecutor. Decisions were often made quickly and not properly recorded. This explains why Oliver was treated so unfairly. He was too weak to speak, yet he was quickly judged guilty without proper evidence. In Oliver Twist, Nancy shows an interesting and complex personality. When she pretends to be a respectable woman searching for her younger brother, she changes her appearance carefully. Her usual untidy and slightly dirty clothes are covered with a clean white apron. She hides her hair with a straw bonnet and carries a basket and a key. These things are symbols of a respectable life. Clean clothes, neat appearance, personal belongings, and a home with security. Nancy is one of the few characters in the story who has depth and grow as the story continues. In the early part, readers do not know much about her, but it is clear that she is strong and quick thinking. Later, we understand more about her past and why she behaves the way she does. Her ability to act and hide her true feeling becomes very important as the story develops. Character Dickens uses language very carefully to show the nature of his characters. For example, in chapter 13, Jack Dawkins uses the word Ken, which means a house, and the word peach, which means to inform against someone. These are words commonly used in the criminal world. Such a language clearly shows that these characters belonging to a life of crime. These words would sound strange if spoken by kind and respectable people like Mr. Brownlow or Mrs. Badwin. In chapter 14, Mr. Grimwig often repeats the phrase, I will eat my head. This unusual expression highlights his strange and stubborn personality. In this chapter, two very different worlds come together. One is the criminal world, where Oliver is trapped with Fagin and his gang. The other is the kind and respectable world of Mr. Brownlow, where Oliver feels safe and cared for. As the story moves forward, these two worlds continue to clash. Oliver remains stuck between them, struggling to find a place where he truly belongs. In chapter 15 of Oliver Twist, Bill Sikes and Nancy leave Fagins while he's reading a newspaper called The Hue and Cry. The real name of this newspaper was the Police Gazette. Earlier, it was known as the Public Hue and Cry. It was an official paper connected to law and crime. Every week, it was sent by Bow Street Magistrate Court to important official like magistrate. Police officers, prison authorities, and even military officers across the United Kingdom. This newspaper shared details information about criminals such as wanted people, escaped prisoners, deserters, and their activities. It also gave updates about criminals who had been reported earlier. When Oliver goes out to the bookseller with books and money, it is not planned carefully. He even takes a wrong direction. However, by chance, he meets Nancy and Bill Sikes at the exact moment. Later in the story, sometimes something similar happens again. Oliver is found by Fagin through another coincidence. These events may seem unrealistic, but they are important for the story. Without such a coincidences, the plot would not move forward. In fact, in Victorian novel like Oliver Twist, using coincidence was very common. Mr. Brownlow lives in Clerkenwell, an area of London that was rebuilt in the 18th century. His house was probably part of a neat and well planned Georgian terrace. When Bill Sikes and Nancy capture Oliver, they take him through darker and older part of the city. They move south through Smithfield, an area that survived the Great Fire of London. Finally, they reach one of Fagin's hidden houses, located in a rough and less used part of the city. Oliver Twist Fagin is shown as a very clever psychological manipulator. He keeps Oliver alone for a long time, making him feel isolated and weak. This is similar to a kind of mental control where a person becomes easier to influence. At that time, a similar method was being tested in prison. Prisoners were kept alone with a Bible and only occasional visit from a priest. The idea was that they would think deeply about their actions and improve themselves. However, Fagin used this idea in a negative way, not to reform Oliver, but to slowly pull him into a life of crime. This chapter also connects to an important philosophical debate. John Locke believed that the human mind is like a blank slate, meaning people learn everything from their experiences. On the other hand, Gottfried Wilhelm and Leibniz argued that some qualities like morality and thinking ability are nature and inborn. This creates the debate of nature, what we are born with, nurture, what we learn from our environment. Charles Dickens places Oliver right in the middle of this debate. Oliver clearly has a naturally kind and innocent personality, even while living among criminals like Fagins and Sikes. He tries to remain good, but the question is how long can he stay pure in such a dangerous environment? Will his good nature protect him, or will the bad surrounding slowly change him? Thank you for listening. In the next audio, we will continue the journey of Oliver and see what happened next. Stay connected with the Novel Garden for more similar summaries and clear analysis. Thank you so much. Bye bye.